been a while.
It has.
But Shadowhunters is back. And we're here to cover it. I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Alyssa.
And this is Stage Talk 18.
Oh, also, this is
Winston! Because she wants him to be in the video, and he's my new puppy.
Cute. I love him.
Hi. Okay. Where should we begin today?
I guess in the beginning of the 3B.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, the scene with Madsy, like the babysitting scene with Madsy and Alec and Magnus was really cute.
They were really good.
I mean, until Iris came in and ruined that.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's arrested again.
Yeah, me too. I definitely think that the season's off to a strong start.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much of any of it that I really don't like. And even the person that we didn't think could act at all, or be nice or generous or kind or like have emotion, like is doing
Or
better.
have a nice personality.
He's doing a lot better this season.
Yeah,
He's not
apologized to people.
Yeah.
He thanked them.
Like he's not perfect, but like he's definitely like 10 times better than when he started.
I don't know who came into the writer's room.
And was like, we need to talk. He was like, we need to talk.
Yeah, he was like, okay, you have to make at least all of your leads likable. So we're going to have to do some touch-ups.
There's a lot of people that like him. I just don't like those people because...
I have a lot of those people blocked on Twitter. And then, what else was it? Maya, I'm really excited to see what she does with, spoiler alert, I guess, with what's left of her pack, which is her...
Barely anything.
Bat. Maybe Luke if he comes back.
Yeah. And it's like, I wonder how many of them weren't there, though. Like, I doubt it was the entire pack, because then that would be, like, kind of... Yeah. I feel like they'd be like, oh, man, we lost the entire...
Well, that's what she said.
Well,
is that,
no,
like,
she
her whole
said
pack is dead. And her family.
That she knows of. Because she hasn't actually been able to, like, go out, so she's assuming they're all dead.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming we'll have at least, like, 2 to 3 background side characters.
They're like, we're still alive. You've never seen our faces before, but we're here. Wow.
Extras.
Yeah. And then I do wonder, because there was a scene in the trailer of Maya, Simon, and Bat, and they were around like a burning pyre.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so I'm wondering who they're burning. Because it wouldn't be anybody from the pack.
Well, maybe they are burning everyone from the pack. Maybe it's like a ceremony. Well,
Luke said that he was doing it before he got interrupted by the police.
Yeah, well.
And we're not sure.
Speaking of that, Luke, what are you doing?
I'm sorry.
You don't need to punish yourself. You're beautiful and you're smart.
You. And you're great. In the words of Isaiah Mustafa, you are the worst cop werewolf detective ever, but like, you're my dad. Please get out of jail.
Yeah, because he doesn't care about the werewolves. He doesn't really care about the cops, but like, I love him.
Luke. I hope that like Clary goes to Alec and she's like, hey, my dad's getting arrested. Can you save him somehow? And he's like, yeah, I got this. And like, massive jailbreak. And is like,
yes,
we're leaving.
All of the mundanes forget.
We're getting out.
He ever existed. It's fine.
Oh, what? Like with Simon?
I mean, honestly, that's okay. Like, what does Luke care about? Like, there's no one left he cared about that.
Yeah.
Like, there. So it's fine.
Yeah. Luke and Simon, basically. Definitely,
I see Simon and Maya's friendship really it's gonna be bad.
It was really weird because in the scene, there's a scene where they break up in the Hunter's Moon because whatever reasons they said. But it seemed like now would be a good build up for them to break up with their talk about their argument about that.
It seems like they broke up, and now that they're broken up, they're fighting but that should have led like
to
it
the
led
breakup. Because the breakup seemed like out of nowhere. Like if you didn't have that gap in between 3A and 3B, it would have seemed like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially after their whole thing with the Sealy Court and Simon being like, I couldn't live with you being in danger or whatever. And now he's like, yeah, we fell out of love in the span of 3 hours, I guess.
And now with the decisions that they both made, you see how it like impacted each one of them, and you can kind of see the points of each one of them.
Right.
So this would be like a great time to like, and maybe they are doing that. Maybe like they broke up and they're like revisiting like it's they broke up, but then so much happened that neither one of them really dealt with it.
Yeah, especially when the scene with like Luke and Simon walk into the Hunter's Moon for that first time and see everybody dead. Yeah. He seemed like worried about Maya.
Yeah.
And I was like, they could have still been together. It seemed like they only broke up so that he wouldn't realize that Maya and Jordan were stuck in the back room. Which is stupid.
Because, like, they were eventually going to go there anyways. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter if they were broken up or not.
Also...
They're still, like...
Yeah. That's dumb.
Yeah.
And
But then, Clary's scenes with her brother started off really well.
Yeah, it was really convincing in, like, the first episode or so, but then it got really...
creepy.
Weird. It got so
Well, and that's the thing, too. It's like, you could understand where he's like... If we would have been swapped, you don't know what could have happened.
Right.
You could have been the one raised by Valentine and been a completely different person.
Right. And he had a point. She did kill her dad.
Yeah.
And, like, stood there and, like, smiled at him. I mean, I enjoyed that scene,
I
too. It could be completely
I
bad.
didn't enjoy that scene.
That's true.
But
it got really weird, and they were, like... the scene where they're both getting dressed and he, like, kind of looks at her. And I was like, stop it. Like, stop. Like, we're done.
Get that incest out of here, please.
Please. There are things you can change from the book. And the multitude of incest plots is one of them. Like, you can just leave it out. No one will miss it.
Yeah.
No one will miss it. I really hope that when Clary does go dark side, they don't try to, like, do anything... with that. I mean, Clary seemed disgusted when she did find out what happened, when she was talking with, like, actual Jace.
Yeah.
So hopefully that keeps
happening. Because we don't want that.
I think he's trying to, like, jump down.
Yeah. And where we left off, because when we post this, like, the last episode would be when Clary's sticking her hand into the fire.
Right.
And that was acted so well, if I do say so myself.
Catherine
it was so good.
So good.
And it was like everything. It was creepy, and, like, it gave goosebumps, and I was like, I loved that scene.
Right.
And, again, that was another part where Jesus came in, he's like, what are you doing?
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, he's not like he seems sincere.
Right.
And I was like, yeah.
He's only said one really cringy thing so far. Yeah. And that's when he was talking to Eileen.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, he killed my cousin and my best friend. And he's like, well, Clary's worth everything to me. And I'm like, don't tell her that maybe. You could just say she's worth a lot to me. Maybe not like...
Or he could have
the lives of my friends.
He could have been like, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not going to trade her life either.
Right.
He's like, I want to find a solution first.
Right. That was the only thing where I was like, Jace, maybe now is not the time to be a moron.
Yeah, especially not with, like, her. And we definitely see that the inner darkness that's potentially in Clary.
Especially with, like, the sneak peek where she's yelling at Simon and stuff.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I love Simon. Simon's
great.
Like, I haven't hated Simon ever.
He's good.
He's so precious and innocent, and I love him.
He's precious and innocent. He killed a man. He's killed people.
I know, but like his presence, like that, like his character-wise, like he's that embodiment of, like, he's like the innocent goofball in the group.
Yeah.
Compared to
not
the rest
innocent, but he's definitely a big goofball.
No, I'm not saying innocent in the fact that he hasn't killed anybody. I'm saying innocent, like, compared to the rest of them, they're all like, whew, and he's like here. Never mind, I'm cutting all this out.
Okay, I guess What was the other stuff that's happened? If we want to go chronologically through the episodes.
Oh, we haven't done that.
Well, if we want to do that. The one thing that really made me laugh, and I shouldn't have, was Clary and Jace's reunion in Paris, because Luke and Alec weren't there. Do you know about that? They only flew Dom and Kat out to Paris. Oh. Matt and Isaiah were like green screen in the background, which is why that whole thing was so awkward.
Yeah, that looked weird.
Like, they cut to Jace at certain parts, and where you should have seen, like, Alec or Luke next to him, there was, like, nothing. And then when you shot to, like, Luke and Alec, you could, like, tell.
I wasn't paying attention.
It was very funny to me, where they were, like, talking to each other, but they couldn't show them next to each other. Oh.
You know what we should go into, though? The Malik section.
Oh, the Malik scene.
Because the training scene was amazing. And their morning breakfast scenes are so cute.
So cute.
I love that they did the juice. And then, like, they brought it back. He's like, oh, you got a full glass. And
I like how they're continuing with, like, bringing flowers into the breakfast.
Yes, it's so cute.
Really cute. I want to see them cuddle, though. We've only seen them cuddle once in 218. And that technically was a flashback to, like, 207 or whatever that scene was. So, like...
But their training scene.
I want them to cuddle, though.
Their
I want them to
training
wake
scene
up.
was so beautiful.
That was
good.
Yeah, where they were, like, bantering. He's like,
like,
is that where you got your black belt and name dropping?
Yeah. Oh
it
my
really
God.
is
He's
true.
like,
He does that all the time.
Don't flirt with me.
Yeah, that didn't...
Oh God. And then he's
Alec is, like, the king of making rules and then not following them.
He's like,
So don't flirt with me, and then 5 minutes later,
I told you not to flirt with me.
I guess I gotta kiss him now.
Yeah.
I gotta. It's
Well,
rules.
he said don't flirt with me, and then he flirted with him. He's like, I can't control myself.
He's like, I can't do it anymore.
And then he's like, bedroom. And I was like, okay.
And then the scene where they're walking in the New York streets later that episode, and they're talking about, like, Alex, like, and Alec is saying, like, looking into the eyes of the man that I love and saving him from getting run over by a bicycle. That scene was really cute.
You know who was driving me crazy though? Heidi.
Oh my goodness. She's been a vampire for like 3 days, and she's like, I know the intricacies
I'm a master of
the relationships between all of the downworlders in the shadow world. And I'm like, shut up. Yeah. Goodness.
I mean, like, technically, the whole storyline of every season has only happened how much?
Shut up! I don't claim that. It has not been 3 months. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
So much has happened.
It's so bad.
No, but Heidi, and then Maya's final showdown with Heidi was
so
perfect.
good. I knew she was gonna do something with like the syringe. I thought she was gonna just like stab her.
See, that's what I was thinking. I thought maybe she was gonna like stab her, but like the way she did it was even more satisfying.
Yes.
She's like,
her smirk is like holding her neck.
Haha, I knew you wouldn't be able to resist my freaking blood. And I was like, yes. And she disintegrated. Oh, hi, buddy.
That was good. That was really good. And when she was talking with Alec, and she's like, she bit me. There's nothing I could do. And Alec was like, yeah, okay. I want them to be friends.
So bad.
So bad. They had like a couple scenes.
They have a lot in common.
They do. And they had good scenes this kind of, what was it, 3:15 or so? I think it's 15. That they had good scenes together where he was like, I thought you were dead. You should have called me. He looked hurt. Like, actually hurt that he didn't know she was alive. And I'm like, they're my best friends.
What else can we talk about? The sword. I'm interested to see what that sword's
Because we there's a couple scenes in the trailer where you see them all fighting the demons and stuff. So he probably does.
And they said that they're like, he's gonna, if he has it, he can summon all the demons. So. Right,
or do something with Edom.
Big
and
battle!
There's a lot of behind the scenes photos that were like, here's Izzy and Edom But then there were like several pictures and she was wearing different outfits, so people were like, ooh, is she going like 2 separate times? So there might be something there. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with that sword, because the one that Alec and Magnus found.
You know another person that's driving me crazy? Lorenzo.
I hate his stupid face so much.
I'm going to cut off all your connections and your friends. I'm going to take
and
your
also
apartment.
your house. And
I'm
also
going to give you
I'm gonna
magic that
kill
hurts
you.
you.
He's trying to kill him. I feel like Alec can just go in and be like, you broke the accords.
Yeah, I kind of hope
I'm
Alex
going
shoots
to
him
arrest
in the
you.
face.
I think he can shoot him in the face.
I want him to, though.
I want to shoot him.
I want him to shoot him in the leg. Be like, huh. Does that hurt?
I hope so.
My bad. My arrow's weak.
You think you might want to get your dog?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad during the first half of the season, where I was like, yeah, he's just a bad leader. It's whatever. And now he's like deliberately being an asshole. And it's like, dude.
Somebody punch him in the face.
Dude. I feel like Alec is going to go to Maya and be like, all right, how do I kill Lorenzo without getting in trouble? And she's like, let me help.
Here's the rule book. Breaking the rules.
Here's how we got to do this. Because he's got to confront him in the next... Alec's going to confront Lorenzo in the next episode. And, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do...
He's probably going to get this butt kicked, too.
Probably. Or start crying because his voice already cracked, like, twice in the one line we talked about. What is it?
Stop talking.
Why?
Sad stuff's going on.
Magnus is his world.
Stop.
And if he dies... So do you want to talk about that scene then, where Magnus collapses in Alec's arms? No? You just want to leave that out of the review?
You can talk about it, I'll just be sitting here crying.
You'll just start making faces.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was really sweet, that whole scene, like that whole episode where they were talking and like Magnus got jealous. That was so funny.
That was by far like my favorite, especially because like Alec's reaction was like perfect too. He's like, oh my god, you're jealous. I've never seen you jealous before. Like he made it such a big deal, and I was like,
he's like, oh, your handsome friend helped me. Also, you're John eating the thing again.
I don't care, let me play.
He's like, oh, your handsome friend helped me, and Alec is like, I have 3 shadowhunter friends. One of them's Clary, one of them's Izzy. He's like, Underhill?
Yeah.
So I just your handsome friend helped me. And I'm like, how many friends does Alec really have for him?
Yeah. Plus, it was kind of weird though that they were like saying how like he was just talking to people about his problems like that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh,
he got drunk in a bar and talked to one
Yeah, I was like, when? You're just like now coming on, new guy. Pretty sure the only people he talks to is like Izzy about that.
Yeah.
And you are not Izzy.
No.
Not even close.
Plus, like, Underhill is the head of security. Yeah. So he would have been the person Magnus was talking to.
He would have been like, so he was just drinking out constantly like, it's not a problem. You want to hear all my problems?
I love Magnus so much. And I love him. And I love him. It was basically the whole conversation in the bar. It was Alec just being like, I love Magnus so much. And I want to grow old with him, but I can't. And that was basically the whole thing. And then getting in a taxi. But that was so funny. And then the conversation with Simon, he was like, it's Simon, the daylighter. And Alec was like, I know who you are. Like, I know who you are.
That was funny.
I want them to be friends so bad, too.
Yeah, because I feel like Simon, like ever since then, he's like, I know Alec doesn't like me, but I'm going to keep trying. And I feel like Alec's finally like, oh, this bug isn't going away. I might as well just be friends with him.
I might as well actually like him.
He's not going away.
Because he's not. He'd be like, all right, he's a mundane. He'll be far away. And then he gets turned into a vampire, and he's like, fuck.
The other thing that was really interesting is how they're bringing up that, in a way, Heidi did get what she wanted. Because she showed not only the vampires there, but she also kind of showed Maya that they're not treated the best to begin with. Mm-hmm. And like they talked about like how like, and they showed like how they couldn't come to the Institute,
right? And
how shadowhunters think they're above everyone else,
right?
So I feel like that might come into play eventually too, and I think that'll be interesting.
I don't know. Me and my friend were talking about this. Is that the writers of the show bless them, don't know a lot about systematic oppression, because I feel like they've put in a lot of points in the story where they're like, here's how these characters are making change and doing all this stuff, and then it drops when it's not like plot relevant anymore. Like Izzy in season 1 was very like defending downworlders and being like they need to be equal, right, and being like equal in the eyes of the clave. And then season 2 came along and she was like treating werewolves like dogs and like down girl and stuff like that. And I was like, where did that go? Yeah. And then Alec became head of the Institute, and we've seen him make the
like the board meeting,
the
group of
like the downworlder meetings and stuff. But then that
disappeared.
That's not relevant anymore. He doesn't do anything anymore. Like he doesn't really do anything as it. Like
no, because right now he's kind of at that point where he is. Like, it sucks because he's like the leader of the Institute, and he has to deal with the clave. But at the same time, we don't see much of that. Just that they're an annoyance, and he doesn't go out in the field,
right?
Because like he's in charge,
right? So I feel like if the writers knew what they were doing, like as soon as Alec had become head of the Institute, we would have seen actual change be implemented. Because I thought that's what they were going to do. Like I thought they had shown that when Maya came into the Institute to talk to Izzy, because she just walked in, and I'm like, that's cool. And then it like reversed and got worse. And I'm like,
out of nowhere.
You could have been like a great thing about Alec and Izzy. You know, like teaming up and being like, let's do stuff with the clade. Let's fix rules.
And right now they're trying to do the whole thing to like how the one guy got killed.
Yeah.
And the last thing he said was inside. And I'm like, and they're talking about how they treat like the downworlders bad. But then at the same time, Izzy said, here's Raphael.
Right. Here's all of these downworlders, including my friend. And I'm like, what? Because it's like it's only referenced when it's like relevant, and I'm like, that should be like the main thing now.
Yeah, that should definitely be their focus.
Right, is like
and it's not.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie, the scenes with the meeting scenes that Alec had, I felt were really powerful.
Those were really good.
Because when they were all in the same room together. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was really, really cool.
Yeah, and especially
like, even though, like, the Seelie Queen's annoying, but when she was in that room, too, you could, like, see how this could become something really, really interesting.
Right, and really, really powerful within the shadow world of, like, all these people coming together and being treated equally in the eyes of the law and, like, making progress to do work, and then it's not... It just kind of got dropped. Especially because I was hoping it'd be brought back, since Luke isn't the head of the New York Pack. Lorenzo's the new High Warlock.
Because I feel
like Raphael isn't the leader of the clan anymore. So you could have been like, there's new people now, but it's like not there.
Because I feel like they just did the thing. They're like, oh, there's new leaders, so they didn't want to meet with me. But like they didn't even say that. They could have been like, yeah, even if they would have had a scene where he's like, I'm having trouble getting connected with all these people because before, like, we had connections, we were friends with these people to a point, and now it's like these people are full of themselves and hate each other, and it's a problem,
so that's the one thing where I'm like, all of this stuff had really good potential, but the writers were like, no, we need to focus on the white people first, and I'm like, come on, man, this is like a really good plot thing to do. So, like, I don't know how they're gonna, to put in that storyline where they already have the storyline with Magnus and his magic, which is, like, really important because Asmodeus is gonna come in eventually, and he's gonna probably be the big villain in the finale.
It just sucks because...
And then they have the plot
with
Jonathan.
If the show didn't get canceled, maybe they could have elaborated on some of these issues instead of trying to juggle all of them to make it work. But somebody canceled it.
Whatever thing did that, gosh. There's like 3 people in charge of that stupid show. But like, there's like the plot with Magnus is going on, there's the Clave thing, there's Clary.
And I think the Clave thing, if they're gonna do it, they need to do more of it, because right now, it's too much of a side story. Like, it feels like it's so much of a side story that it doesn't need to be there.
Right. It had really good roots in season 1. With, like, Izzy and the trial scene and doing that stuff. And I was really hoping they'd take off with that. And then we got shown a little bit of that in the beginning of season 2 with
Okay.
Raphael, but that didn't go anywhere.
No.
It's like none of these characters talk to each other about anything important. What's your dog eating?
He's just eating the white thing.
Okay. But it's like all these, like, Alex should have been told about Raphael getting tortured. Like, somebody should have been told
Actually,
about that.
I did like that though because no, not the torturing. That came across. But like, wasn't it Simon? Didn't he say that we all need to text each other more? Like, in an episode, he's like, we all need to answer our phones and text each other. I was like, yes. Now people do that,
right?
Because you're not going to,
right? And people brought up that like Alec hasn't told Magnus about Downworlders possibly being tortured, even though he had that whole thing about not telling Magnus stuff back in 217, 218, all of that stuff about not telling Magnus about the Soul Sword. See, maybe the writers would have remembered a big plot point from season 2 and been like, oh, we have to have a scene with this, but no, we had a really nice, cute scene instead. Yeah, that's probably my biggest disappointment, I guess, with the show is that they bring in these really cool elements of like Clave is corrupt and we need to bring it down, and like Downworlders aren't treated as equals, and then they're like, but tune in next time to see Clary and Jace go ice skating, or tune in to see Clary and Jace find out they're related.
Yeah, but as bad as this sounds, you could also say the thing about Malik. Because, let's be honest, yeah, but at the same time, it looks like they're just trying to please us with those scenes, that they're not letting the two of them do the storylines that they should be working on right now.
I feel like they could have been doing those storylines together.
Yeah, they could have, but they're not.
Yeah. Well, the scenes
they're like,
that they do
here's another bedroom scene so then you guys are fine. Which I love, but like...
Well, no, they weren't just like things to appease us. They're going into Magnus' storyline with his magic.
Well,
so that's good.
And they're going there, but at the same time, it's like the characters need to do stuff. Alec's not doing much.
Yeah,
that's actually how I felt a lot about Izzy during season 2. Is she got sidelined a lot, especially during like the last half. I was like, what is it, Izzy? When's she coming back? I was what is she doing? Because, like, for her, the only storyline, and I don't know if that was 2 or if that was 3, I don't remember, because, like, they were all so far back, because we've had such a long break. Like, when did she get addicted to?
Season 2.
Yeah.
That
became her only storyline, which I think the storyline was interesting to a point, but at the same time, that's all she did.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like they find a point with the characters, and then they take off with that one, but they forget what else is going on and don't connect those characters to everything else.
Right, because Izzy is like, she's the weapons master now, and they haven't really done a lot with that.
When is
she's the best, what they say, the best philanthropist or whatever in New York.
And then we just see
got
her
once. Like 3 scenes with that.
She's like, I'm gonna do an autopsy.
And I'm like,
I forget you know how to
fucking
do that.
Job. Jeez.
Yeah, and he was like, and like that's the thing that would be kind of annoying too, because like Alex like, well, it's already been done, and I'm like, hey, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you want to look at different like fan fiction drawings from Alyssa, she does a lot of shadowhunter stuff. You can.
It's a lot of gay stuff.
Yeah, you can.
A lot of gay stuff.
Main reason she's watching the show. You can look at her channel in the link below. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.
Bye. So how do you want to do my videos?
I don't know. How are we doing yours?
Do you have like a separate microphone or whatever like you had last time?
No.